Warrior Cats just spoiled an entire book. Yeah, Warrior Cats releases 2 of its main series books per year, and part of this process is of course listing them on retail websites, pushing out the marketing materials and all that, including the blurb, a brief description of what the plot of the book is about. And when they do that around 10 months before each book release, therein lies the problem. Before we can read any new Warrior Cats book, we already have the blurb from the book that releases after that one, which in turn, if we choose to read it, will spoil the book before it. Now of course it's possible to just not read the blurb, but that's not super feasible for us superfans to just avoid a spoiler flying around the community for up to 6 months to the book's release. So yeah, I just get spoiled. Now there is a recent case of this happening that is particularly egregious in how much it spoils. But to put things in perspective, first we must turn back time. I'm going to use A Vision of Shadows as an example first. I didn't go out of my way to stay involved in the community and read upcoming blurbs before this arc, so these are the first blurb-related spoilers I experienced, with Darkest Night being the biggest example that comes to mind. One of the biggest questions from the first couple of Vision of Shadows books was the fate of SkyClan. We could guess they were joining the main clans, but we didn't know for sure, and we didn't know when. That was something that was going to be revealed in Shadowed Sky when Twigpaw finds them. But what actually happened was that it was revealed to the fandom in the blurb for Darkest Night that was released first. SkyClan has returned to its rightful place among the 4 clans, hoping to find a new territory to call home. Our question was answered in a rather unsatisfying way. Though this blurb still does some things right. It does not spoil for us what happened to Darktail at the end of Shadowed Sky, or what any of our main protagonists were doing. We will come back to this later. And the only other major spoiler in later books of Vision of Shadows isn't actually a spoiler if you were to read the Tigerheart Shadow Super Edition. Moving on to Broken Code, they've been fairly good about keeping the blurb spoiler free. Every single blurb in this arc only refers to Ashfur as the imposter. They were definitely careful to keep that secret no matter how early any of that marketing material was released. Well, I mean, leave it to Kate to spoil it anyway, and the books themselves made it fairly obvious. But they let us find out on our own. Again, we're coming back to this later. Broken Code really showed they were better at keeping spoilers out of the blurbs. Most of them were either vague ramblings about darkness or general plot points that didn't over-reveal at all. Squirrelflight going to the Dark Forest is about as spoilery as it gets. Veil of Shadows ended on a cliffhanger where we didn't know if Shadowsight was alive or not, and they did not reveal what happened to him in the Darkness Within blurb. Say it with me now. We are coming back to this later. A Starless Clan started out okay. River kinda told us Misty Star would die, due to her being front and center on the cover, and Tragedy Strikes River Clan being in the blurb. Sky doesn't reveal anything. Shadow keeps its wording somewhat vague, with Nightheart's name not being mentioned as the cat who joined Shadow Clan, and Tiger Star's watchful eye being said instead of revealing Shadow Clan took over. It's good. Thunder is where things go south. They start off by revealing Frostpaw survived an attack that gravely injured her, not only spoiling the outcome of Shadow's cliffhanger, but spoiling the fact that it was going to end on a cliffhanger in the first place, when, as I mentioned earlier, Broken Code did a very similar thing with Shadowsight and didn't spoil it at all. And they drop a major spoiler in the fact that Riverstar appears and sends Frostpaw on a quest. That's a pretty big deal that should have been saved for the book itself. But it's fine, I still don't know how the book ends. Right? Yeah, so about that. The title of this video is not an exaggeration. The marketing material for A Starless Clan 5, Wind, has surfaced on the website Edelweiss. This website is legit. It is a professional resource that the Warrior Cats team uses in their marketing process. Just 2 months ago they gave us an early preview for the Brightheart graphic novel, so we know the blurb is real. And it's just weird. Not only is it a bit longer than most blurbs revealed ahead of a book's release, it is strangely specific in what it wants to reveal. It tells us where Frostpaw is at, it tells us where Sunbeam is at, it tells us where Nightheart is at, it tells us the status of both of our major villains. Basically everything from the end of the book Thunder is spelled out for us. It's Spoiler City. Darkest Night had a major spoiler, but at least it kept all of our character and villain stories nice and secret. But Warrior Cats just did not follow that example. I'm giving you one last warning to click off the video if you don't want to see these spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Look at this. Our reveals include Frostpaw finished her quest, Frostpaw received important knowledge from the quest, Frostpaw joined Shadow Clan, Splashtail takes control of River Clan, Nightheart was the cat who joined Frostpaw on her quest, the destination of the quest was meeting the cats at the park, they took 2 of the cats from the park home to join the clans, Nightheart and Sunbeam's relationship is unstable, Berryheart was exiled for treachery, Berryheart has an illness, Berryheart is still scheming after her exile, and Splashtail is evil and violent. 12 major reveals from one blurb, or 8 if you really want to condense them down. To compare, the blurb for Thunder, which I still thought was pretty bad, I would say only had 3. This is so blatantly spoiling the entire book that I honestly believe there has to be some sort of mistake. Like they sent the first draft of the blurb to Edelweiss, or it was some plot overview that was never meant to be made public. Broken Code was so careful to keep the reveal that Ashfur was the evil imposter secret, leaving it to the reader to find out, but a Starless Clan takes its big reveal of Splashtail rising to violent power, and just throws it around. I honestly could see them changing this to be less revealing when it makes its way to even more public listings, such as Amazon or the official Warrior Cats website. Hi, Future Akira here. So they ended up revealing it on the official website, and it's the same. The only thing they changed was that they removed the line about Sunbeam and Nightheart's relationship being complicated, one of the least revealing sentences. So I guess they wanted spoilers for whatever reason. It is a bit funny how the article says they are specifically revealing it to make up for the suspense left by the cliffhanger. Like what? Suspense is a good thing. Why are they trying to get rid of it by spoiling everything? That would be like if they said, "We noticed you like Sunbeam, so we deleted her from the next book." It's pointless for them to make up a reason like this. We know they're not revealing it specifically for us superfans. We know it's a requirement for the marketing cycle, and that's fine. If putting spoilers in the blurb causes the casual audience to be more interested in buying the book, so be it. But if they're gonna put it on their official website like this, they should at least put a spoiler warning, as we don't have precedent for blurbs to include spoilers this major. Also, they clearly copy and pasted the opening paragraphs from a different article and forgot to change a couple of the details, leaving in incorrect information, but I digress. If I was writing the plot overview to be more vague, it would go like this. After her journey, Frostpaw has much to reveal to the clans, but they are reluctant to believe an apprentice who's already admitted to lying about her visions in the past. Meanwhile, a new cat rises to power in River Clan, and forces both within and outside the clans threaten to destroy any efforts of preserving the peace. That way we can hint at Splashtail doing stuff without just blatantly revealing his name. We can keep the fact that the cats of the park were found a secret, we can keep Nightheart, Sunbeam, and Berryheart's character reveals secret, but still hint at Berryheart being around, with that note about a force outside the clans. A hint that doesn't make sense until you read Thunder, so nothing's spoiled. It may not be perfect, but I think just about anyone would prefer it to spoiling an entire book. I really hope they fix this when it comes time to reveal book 6. Alright, bye everyone!